Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of CCW Insider. I am your CCW correspondent, Tyler Cashmere, here joined like always with the man that always gets the answers. He has all the questions. He is Axel Rome. Axel, we're a little light today. It's just the two of us, but that doesn't matter because CCW Insider keeps trucking on. And man, what a weekend we got coming up here, Axel.
That's right. Coming up ahead is this Friday, a doubleheader weekend. On Friday, we have Conquer Kissimmee 28, and then in Doral Saturday, we have Rumble in the Jungle 9. A lot to discuss, two shows. So, Tyler, without further ado, let's roll that intro and let's get started.
Let's get it started real quick, though. Ezra said she is so freaking hyped for Friday. How can you not be hyped? It is hyped for this whole weekend coming up, but we got to get to that intro first before we can break everything down.
Alrighty, Tyler. So we're talking about Conquer Kissimmee 28, which would have taken place last week, but fortunately, due to some unforeseen circumstances, it will take place this Friday at Sun of the Beach. We're back in Kissimmee for Conquer Kissimmee 28, a loaded card already. To begin with, Ezra already spoke how excited she is. We already know that she's always looking forward to these shows. So am I. We're back at Sun of the Beach. So, Tyler, let's talk about our first match that we have tonight.
Like you said, it's a stacked card this Friday for Conquer Kissimmee. So the first we're going to start with is some would say a dream match here in the last territory because it's something you would never even expect. It is Skits, the schizophrenic one. We know this storyline that has been brewing with Frank the Clown having this vendetta against Skits and Frank the Clown recruiting people every Conquer Kissimmee to try to take out Skits. But this time, he has recruited probably the most dangerous man yet to face Skits, and that is Stallion Rogers. That is right. At Conquer Kissimmee 28 this Friday, it is Stallion Rogers taking on Skits in singles competition. Stallion Rogers, one of our hardest hitters here in the last territory, a guy that once he stepped foot in the last territory, he really made it his home here. He lives and breathes the last territory. He cares so much about it, and he thinks he's the damn best here. Well, I'll tell you what, Skits, never count him out. If Stallion Rogers is the hardest hitter, then Skits is the most insane person we got here. He's the craziest person, most unpredictable. But can you have a prediction for this one, Axel? At least who you leaning towards in this one?
I guess I'm going to be leaning a little bit towards the unpredictable factor that is Skits. I mean, it's very impressive that Frank the Clown this time has been able to find someone a little bit more homegrown in CCW, someone that Skits is a little bit familiar with. Now, this may not be the first time that these two gentlemen will clash inside the ring. We know that Monster Mosh and Stallion and Danny Briggs have gone at each other's throats in tag team competition. So this may not be the wisest move for Frank the Clown to bring someone in that maybe Skits is a little bit known in the ring with, but it's going to be very interesting. Like you said, a very hard-hitting competitor that Stallion Rogers is taking on the unpredictable Skits. I think this one's going to be a little bit leaning more towards Skits because it is that bit of the spooky season, and I think that's just going to favor Skits a little bit more around this time of the year.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of the supernatural types on our roster. You know, when you look at the Invoked, you look at Skits, even Ozzy borders on it sometimes. So, yeah, when the month of October rolls around, you got to look at some of these guys and think, hey, maybe there's something in the win, something that will extra motivate these guys to go out there and get the win. And, I mean, Skits, though, has all the motivation in the world. Like I said, this thing with Frank the Clown has been brewing for months. Frank the Clown just going after Skits, trying to take him out. Frank the Clown saying there's only room for one clown in CCW. But I got to tell you, Skits was here first, and you are going to have to bring a lot of heavy-duty people here to try to get Skits out. But, man, Stallion Rogers is the guy to do it if there's anyone. Can't wait for that. Let's go to some of the comments here. We got Rock Pops here saying, I cannot wait for that Creepy Carnival card to drop. It is going to be a crazy card. That one will be dropping soon. Keep your eyes out on CCW socials. And here we got Justin in the chat. Now, Justin, one of our, I would say, super fans here in CCW. You'll know him because he dresses up like Eddie Valentine in the crowd. So, of course, he's saying, let's get Eddie this damn belt. Tyler Axel, who do I have to lobby to get Eddie a shot, man? Not us. We have no, you can call us, call the CCW training facility, ask for CCW management, maybe. Write your letters, your emails. Eddie will make a good heavyweight champion. And you know what, Axel? We're seeing a lot of, the chat wants Eddie. We're seeing a lot of it. So let's give them what they want. Coming up next, let's break down the Dirty Man, Dirty Devin Diaz, taking on the world's sexiest man, Eddie Valentine. Dirty man, sexy man. We're out of control here in the last territory. This one is going to be sexy. This one's going to be dirty. Dirty man Devin Diaz has been in a tear in Tampa. Obviously, not only did Conquer Kissimmee card have to get rearranged for this week, but we also had to rearrange Axel, as you know, that Havoc and Hayes card due to the weather and the hurricane that happened down there in Tampa last weekend. So, but Dirty man Devin Diaz on a tear. Every Havoc and Hayes, I feel like he gets his arm raised. He keeps getting closer and closer. He keeps making a name for himself here. And now he's going against Eddie Valentine, a solidified name here in the last territory. A guy that goes out there and has really solid, those matches that you can really build a reputation with. I mean, what a resume Eddie Valentine has. Now the Dirty Man, he could take that momentum and get his name back in the picture. But can he do it? Because, man, Eddie Valentine, ever since stabbing Joe Garcia in the back, he's been a dangerous man by himself.
That's right. Now, we're talking about Dirty Devin Diaz. You have to think that he's been chasing this title from QT Marshall for the past couple of months. But surprise, Dirty Devin, we have a new champion. If you guys haven't heard as well, Meadow, our new world champion of CCW. He was crowned our champion at Bash of the Brew 45. And so now I feel like what you said is correct. Now he has to pick up some of the pieces and maybe gain a little bit more momentum now that we have a new champ around town. And who better than to try to go against a veteran here in CCW than Eddie Valentine? But with Eddie Valentine really scouting young talent, maybe to add for his new Night Rider, I'm thinking that maybe these are tryout matches. This is where my head is going. Maybe these are tryout matches for maybe up-and-coming talent that he wants to take under his wing. Now, I could be completely wrong, and what Eddie Valentine wants to do is really recover from that also kendo stick loss that he suffered to Joe Garcia at the last Bash at the Brew as well. So whatever the idea is behind this match, whether Dirty Devin Diaz really needs to work on gaining some new momentum ahead of him trying to be a new contender for the world champion that is Meadow, or Eddie Valentine trying to pick himself back up after a very grueling defeat on the hands. I mean, I'm sure those marks are still on his back. If you guys have not seen, I know there's going to be some interviews that are going to be dropping on our socials. Eddie Valentine, I caught him at the worst time right after that match, and those bruises that Joe Garcia left on his mark or left on his back. Well, I think that Eddie's going to be feeling that for some time, but he's also going to be remembering maybe that anger that Joe was feeling, and he's going to be trying to pick himself back up and see where he goes from here.
Yeah, it'd be great to see if Eddie, with that big loss from Joe Garcia, does Eddie fall down that losing slope? I mean, it happens. You lose one big match, and then you look, and in the month you got 2 more losses next to your name. It's something that happens with momentum, and so we'll see if Eddie Valentine, he is a veteran though, if he taps into that hatred and that anger and emotion that he felt when he got not only beat by Joe Garcia, he got choked out by Joe Garcia. He woke up looking up at the lights, but I know, knowing Eddie Valentine now, I think he's going to tap into that anger, and you're just going to see Eddie Valentine back on his A game. I think it's going to be a great back and forth match between him and the Dirty Man, Devin Diaz. Can't wait for it. Going to the next, let's get into some women's action as Nadia White is back in the last territory, taking on NVIDIA. Oh, hey, we talked about it. It's October. It's that season. It's always, what's the right word here? Disturbing to see NVIDIA back in the ring. Like, because when she just walks out with the Invoked, you get those chills. You get those goosebumps. And now she's coming out here, singles match, and NVIDIA, if you haven't seen her for even a year, you know every time she's back in that ring, she could be as dangerous as ever. But we have seen Nadia White before. She has pushed some of our women here in the last territory to their limit. She's a very tough competitor. She's going to have the size advantage in this one. Axel, what are you thinking here?
The same advice that I would tell Stallion Rogers is careful out there, Nadia White, because it is that season of the witch, and NVIDIA is not anyone that you want to mess with, especially this time. Let's also not forget, whenever NVIDIA is around, the Invoked are not far from her, so you're going to want to be careful looking out at ringside, making sure that you are not distracted by anything that the Winx might be doing, anything that Veritas might be doing, and making sure that you have an eye on NVIDIA, who is quite a small competitor, so she's quick. She'll get down and knock you off your feet without even you realizing it, right? So let's also remember about that. And then those mind games that NVIDIA is known for, those screams, those howls. I mean, if anyone wants to get in the ring with NVIDIA, I invite you to do so. Maybe not right now, so careful on this one, Nadia White, but tonight I'm going to have to go with NVIDIA just because we're in that Halloween season, and I think I'd get in trouble if I didn't.
Yeah, man, not only do you have to worry about the Invoked, about NVIDIA's quickness, you have to worry about her just nastiness in the ring. She just does not care. We've seen her go after people's eyes. She'll bite. She'll do anything she can in that squared circle to get the win, to pick up any advantage. Nadia White is going to have her head on a swivel this Friday at Conquer Kissimmee. But staying on the subject of the Invoked, we got to go on to our Southeastern Championship match. Looks like we lost Axel. Looks like he has entered the frozen zone. Axel right now frozen. We'll try to get him back, but we'll continue with the show as the CC Southeastern Champion Domino will be taking on the Invoked with the Winx. The Winx is back in the last territory. Love seeing the Winx back in action. And the Winx really is one of those, you just have more questions than answers anytime the Winx is out there in the squared circle. But man, as dangerous as ever. The last time we saw him, he was picking up some good wins, pushing guys like Domino to the limits. Now he's back here for that Southeastern Championship. And this is a big match for Domino because not only, like we said, it's the Invoked. So not only does he have to deal with the returning Winx, what is the Winx going to bring against Domino that Domino hasn't seen yet? Also, NVIDIA and the rest of the Invoked, are going to be on the outside trying to cause distraction, trying to do anything they can to try to take that championship away from Domino. But if there's one thing we know about Domino, he's a fighting champion, and he always fights back. Let's go to the comments here. We got Ezra saying, if Veritas comes back, I will sacrifice my dad to him. No sacrificing the fathers. Please, not here at the last territory. Also, we got Ezra. I've been having a long panic attack this week over this match. I will genuinely cry. No crying, all good times be had. But even Ezra knows. Big fan of Domino. All Domino's fans know how dangerous the Winx is. I mean, it's a guy that comes out there in a red blood-soaked suit with murder gloves. He wears just normal gloves for like a crime scene. Doesn't make any sense. But the Winx, he goes in there and he just destroys his opponents. But Domino will have the domination in his corner, and he will try anything he can to walk away with that Southeastern Championship. Looks like we have lost Axel. We'll try to work on getting him back in here, but we got to go and continue with this card. As coming up next, it is the CCW Cruiserweight Champion, Ozzy Killmeister, taking on Joe Garcia for that Cruiserweight Championship. But before I get to there, looks like we have a special guest dropping in. Here in Insider, we have some surprises here. We weren't really scheduled to have a guest, but when this man shows up, we bring him in. Ladies and gentlemen, none other than the Raw Dogger himself, the leader of the pack, the man that will be in action here Saturday at Tripping Animals. He will be facing the Costco guys. It is none other than Fair Rojas. Fair, what you got there?
Oh yeah!
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Casimir, once again, the honor is all yours.
Yes, absolutely. Of course it is. I appreciate you being here. Axel dropped off, and we got Fair Rojas in here now, the raw dog.
Yeah, I mean, what a great – I got a text. Do you want our ratings to go up? And that's what I do. I was in the middle of burping my Emmy Award, which I do every night. Here Beautiful. It is. This is real. You wish one day you could have one of these, Casimir. You wish.
I can't even dream. I don't even think it's like in a realm of possibility.
This is real gold, brother. I'm a set her down here. Sorry
to interrupt. What was the Emmy category?
Best man alive.
Best man alive at the Emmys. Unbelievable.
My goodness.
You have a whole audience. Where are you? Are you live?
I'm right now in my seasonal residency. We are in Salem, Massachusetts. Getting ready for spooky season. And I will be flying down, private, of course, down to Doral on Saturday and beating up this poor guy who's having a midlife crisis, Big AJ. Crisis. You guys might know. Yeah, I don't like him either.
Who are these people? Why are they chipping AJ?
It's my entourage, and they're smart people with brains, not like all the people that root for the Costco guys. I mean, who even likes Costco? No one likes Costco. We're gonna beat up Big AJ, and then I'm gonna win the World Heavyweight Championship once I knock off Meadow. It is gonna be the celebration of a lifetime after Saturday, boys.
Damn right. That's right.
I mean, big night for the Raw Dogs. 2 giant statements. I mean, the Raw Dogs will officially be on top if all the Raw Dogs are victorious on Saturday.
Oh, you know I stay on top.
Yeah, the Raw Dogs, like you say, always on top, but will be finally on top in the last territory Saturday if everyone goes through and wins their matches. Axel, we got you back in here. Before we get to questions with Fair and start breaking his matches down with the Raw Dog Saturday, we got a lot of videos to go and talk about his matches. Actually, let's break down this Conquer Kissimmee card. I know you're getting flashbacks because last time we were on here, some of the videos that we had were not too great for you, but be assured, I talked to the producers. We got some better videos representing the Raw Dogs.
I almost had to send out a cease and desist.
No cease and desist required, Fair. But before we get there, let's break down the rest of this Conquer Kissimmee card because I know you're very familiar with the rest of the people on this card. So we're going to talk about Ozzy Killmeister, the Cruisermeister, taking on Joe Garcia. Now, Fair, Ozzy Killmeister has ran through every single one of the Raw Dogs in singles competition and tag team competition.
What are you talking about? Look, let me tell you this. Joe Garcia beat him.
Absolutely.
Ozzy Killmeister, smelly. Next.
Okay, great analyst there from Fair Rojas.
Next.
Axel, what do you think about this match?
Well, it's going to be just an interesting matchup because if you guys remember, Ozzy's first title defense when he became the Cruisermeister, or the Cruiserweight Champion, as he likes to call himself as well, was against Joe Garcia. Now that we've seen a newer and evolved Joe Garcia, I'd like to think this is going to be a great match because that momentum that Joe Garcia is carrying after defeating Eddie Valentine at Bash of the Brood, like we just previously discussed. Do I think that Joe Garcia has enough to take on Ozzy? I think this is going to be one that is going to be up to Joe Garcia really to see if defeating Eddie was enough to prove that he's ready to take this to the next level. And what a great way to prove that than by taking on Ozzy Killmeister for an opportunity and now claiming yourself the new Cruiserweight Champion and defeating someone who's been unstoppable, someone who's unfortunately defeated our guest here with us, Fer Rojas. But no shade. I'm just throwing facts out here, Fer. I'm just speaking facts, as you know I like to do. But back to
you like to hate. That's what you like to do. You like to make my life miserable. You like to make my life miserable. You're a biased journalist.
You know what? I respect your opinion. I respect your opinion. Respectfully, let's move on from that. Let's go back to that matchup, which was that if Joe Garcia wants to really prove that he has got what it takes to no longer be in the shadows of his former tag team partner, Eddie Valentine, this is a great match to do so this Friday at Conquer Kissimmee.
Well, Axel, you're catching heat with not only the Raw Dogs, but the Raw Dog entourage. Let me say, for one, Raw Dog's always on top. No doubt about it, even though if they don't get their hands
born on top, and I will die on top.
Even if they don't get their hands raised every night in the last territory, they're still on top by the end of the night. Because have you been to a Raw Dogs after party? I haven't, but they haven't invited me. But I've heard great things about
pictures
them.
Though. I sent them pictures though.
Heard great things. Heard great things about them. But going back to that Cruiserweight Championship match, Meister, he's on a roll. He is the Cruisermeister. He's saying exactly what he set out to do. He is just forging his path as Cruiserweight champion, going through Challenger and Challenger. But now you got Joe Garcia, who just went through this big mountain of climbing Eddie Valentine. He defeated his mentor, choked him out with that kendo stick. Now is this Joe Garcia's time. We will see. We did say on the last Insider when we broke down Bash of the Brew, we will see who Joe Garcia is. I think he showed us at Bash of the Brew who he was, choking out Eddie Valentine. And now Joe Garcia is his own man. And that is going to be one hell of a match going into Conquer Kissimmee. Let's move on to this huge tag team match as Cha-Cha Charlie and Jackal Steven take on the Crown. What a match this is. I think everybody's got this circled heading into this weekend. You got the Crown taking on two of the best individual competitors here in the last territory in Cha-Cha Charlie and Jackal Stevens. Fair, like I said, you're going to be familiar with every single person we run down here, but you got to give the edge to the Crown here, right? Because just the tag team prowess. They're brothers. They have tag teamed so much. They've been champions together. Do you agree with that, or do you think Cha-Cha and Jackal, they can beat the Crown here?
Tag team wrestling is complicated. It takes a lot of camaraderie. It takes a lot of teamwork. And the Crown have been at the top of the mountain. And honestly, between Jackal and Cha-Cha, I don't know who has the bigger ego. So, I mean, I don't even think they're going to be able to walk out together, let alone team together. I mean, it has to be on the Crown. Between Jackal's dancing and whatever Cha-Cha calls dancing, whatever he does, I don't know what it is. It's not dancing. It's not dancing. It's a loser. That's right. I mean, they're not even going to be able to. They're not going to be able to be in the same ring together. The egos on these guys. So I could care less. You know what? I hope they both beat each other to a pulp, and all four of them just never wrestle in CCW ever again.
Well, look at this. We got Cha-Cha Charlie saying bigger ego. He's saying they're a great tag team. Actually, I believe they've tag teamed before and gotten wins under their belt.
That's right. We have seen Cha-Cha Charlie and Jackal team up in the past. They were victorious, though. To Fair's point, this is a new alliance between though Jackal and Cha-Cha Charlie know each other from the past here in CCW. You can't discredit that the Crown has been a formed tag team since birth. I mean, fair. Let me turn it over to Fair before I continue my point.
Cha-Cha saying he wants to see some of your moves. You were criticizing his dancing.
Cha-Cha, we didn't do the same kind of dancing. If I show you my moves, we might get blocked off the internet.
Okay, and we move on. So continue your point there.
With that,
Raw Dogs on top.
Raw Dogs on top. There we go, Fair. As I was saying, you just have to side with Fair Rojas on this point that the Crown and Lizzie as well, when we've talked about the Crown in the past, their tag team dynamic is like none other that we've seen in CCW. Their brotherhood extends more than just the tag team. They are literal brothers. So when Jackal and Cha-Cha do come into the ring with the Crown, I do believe it's going to be a little bit more favorable to the Crown this time around.
You would have to think so. The Crown, just such a cohesive unit. We saw them in that crazy no disqualification match at Bash of the Brew 45 against South American Alliance. That could have went any way. Even the South American Alliance themselves said, Ariel Levy said they just survived the Crown that last weekend. And it really showed. And so the Crown are banged up too. I mean, they did have last week off, so that was great. It was sort of a bye week for everybody due to the weather. So everyone had to use that weekend to recover. But still, I mean, man, after that match, you saw it takes more than a week to recover from that, if you can ever recover from a match like that. So it'd be really interesting to see. And if Cha-Cha and Jackal do defeat the Crown, you got to think first in line for a tag team championship match down the road. I know Fer Rojas is not too happy about that. He thinks his Raw Dogs deserve that tag team shot. But, man, I got to disagree with you there, Fer. A win over the Crown, that's got to put you in front of the line. So let's go to our next match here. This Conquer Kissimmee card is insane because you look at a match like this with Noah Kakoa taking on Dan the Dad for that Boca Raton Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. The BRCW Heavyweight Championship getting shown some love here at Conquer Kissimmee 28. And Noah Kakoa, former WWE superstar. Ever since then, he's just been killing it all across the United States. He's been killing it in Boca Raton Championship Wrestling. There he has wins like over legends like Scotty 2 Hottie. Just really big wins under his belt. But now he's going up against Dan the Dad, a guy we saw debut at in our Port St. Lucie show. A guy that's really different, really popular. It has such a wacky style in that ring, but plays such great mind games and always has the fans behind him. Fair, were you impressed with Dan the Dad's debut in Last Territory?
I mean, coming from he's a dad, I'm a daddy. So I can sort of see, I saw what he was doing there. Very impressive. Then again, Noah Kakoa. Not only does he have a cool name, but like you said it, he's been dominating across the U.S. I think it's kind of 50-50 here. I might have to flip a coin to see who ends up winning this. But whoever does, just know you got eyes on you.
Hey, Raw Dogs, maybe looking at that Boca Raton Championship, Heavyweight Championship there in Conquer Kissimmee. But Axel, do you think that Noah Kakoa, I mean, he has some power behind him we've seen in his matches. I don't know if Dan the Dad can match that or if he can try to outspeed him, outsmart him. What do you think Dan the Dad can do here to walk new heavyweight champion?
I think what Dan the Dad is going to have to do is what he's really good at that's going to be out-dad Noah Kakoa. And there's no one better than Dan the Dad to do that. So that's going to be his best strategy. Just try to out-dad him in the ring. We've seen it before when he came here to Anniversary 20 when he tag teamed with Monster Maj. And I think it's just going to be simple as that. And if you guys don't really know the reference, just go online, YouTube. Check out Dan the Dad. His style is just a little bit more different. He is a very good technical wrestler in the ring, but it's just that prowess that he brings of the quirkiness of, as not to take Fair's word. So what you think a father would bring into a wrestling ring that's just very hard hitting?
Yeah, I can't wait for that. The father figure of professional wrestling, Dan the Dad.
To call it Child Protective Services.
No, we're not here. Not in the Last Territory. No Child Protective Services needed. It's not that type of match here. Dan the Dad, father figure of wrestling. He's all of our dads in pro wrestling. He's gonna be taking on Noah Kakoa for that Boca Raton Championship Wrestling. Can't wait for that. That can be a main event anywhere, but not here at Conquer Kissimmee. We also got a huge tag team match, and Fer Rojas already shaking his head because he and his Raw Dogs will be seeing the Iron Savages Saturday in Doral at Rumble in the Jungle. But first, the Iron Savages have to get through Hardcore Horvath and Tony Twist at Conquer Kissimmee. I'm going to throw it to Axel. Iron Savages, featured on AEW, featured on Ring of Honor. We've seen them here in the Last Territory. They have yet to lose. Do you think Hardcore Horvath and Tony Twist are complete of a team yet enough to defeat the Iron Savages, Axel? Oh, we lost him again. He went into Frozen Zone, Fair. What is going on with Axel tonight, Fair? What do you think it is? Why do you think
that wouldn't happen with me? I got that optic fiber.
Optic fiber. They 100 gigs up, 100 gigs down.
Oh, I got all the gigs.
All the gigs. Yeah,
All the
looks
gigs.
like Axel has none of the gigs right now. So we will continue on without Axel. I will actually pick it up from here with the Iron Savages, Hardcore Horvath, and Tony Twist. I do not think that Hardcore Horvath and Tony Twist are complete of a team yet to defeat a team like the Iron Savages. They're a relatively new team, but man, they have been looking damn impressive in their matches here in the last territory ever since they turned their back on Fabu Andre. But still, the Iron Savages, they have that power. They have all the momentum right now. Everybody is saying Titty City except the Raw Dogs. I know you're disagreeing with this. But the Iron Savages, I think, go to Conquer Kissimmee and get that victory and pick up that extra momentum heading into Rumble in the Jungle. But before we get to that show, because I cannot wait to get to that show and break it down fair, it is a loaded show. Speaking of loaded, we got Meadow defending that CCW Heavyweight Championship for the first time against a mystery opponent. Well, I mean, CCW management said, Meadow, you worked your whole career to get here. You defeated QT Marshall. You got that CCW Heavyweight Championship. Now your first title defense is against a mystery opponent. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any idea who this mystery opponent is, go ahead and drop it in the chat. We'll read any suggestions. Fair. Do you have any idea? Do you have any insight on who this mystery man is?
I mean, of course I have insight. I have the best agents in the business, and I know what he's going up against. And let's just say everything is working out in my favor.
Okay.
Meadow better watch out. Meadow better stretch, and Meadow better get a good night's sleep because he has to face me the next day. So he better get ready. It's not going to look good for Meadow. It's not.
And maybe you don't face Meadow the next day. Maybe you face whoever defeats Meadow for that CCW Heavyweight Championship. Could be a shocker.
Trust me, man. I'm not even worried because I have a plan. I've been having a plan.
The Raw Dogs are the masterminds. After all, Raw Dogs always on top. But Ezra is saying, how much you want to bet it's QT? Ezra, if I know one thing about professional wrestling, I never bet on it. Anything can happen in the last territory. It very well could be QT Marshall trying to get that rematch, trying to get that CCW Heavyweight Champion. It really could be anyone. Could be one of the Raw Dogs. How about that for a monkey wrench? Could be a James Tapia or an Elliot Crow just jumping in there.
It could be one of the Raw Dogs. You never know. There's a lot of us. We're multiplying left and right. Too many of us.
Hey, no matter what, it's just going to be an insane night at Conquer Kissimmee. Whoever answers that challenge, though, Meadow is our newly crowned heavyweight champion. He is going to be on his A game. So whoever comes is going to have to bring something even more to the table to try to defeat Meadow. And you know what? We got that Rumble in the Jungle card to break down next. Let's go to a quick commercial break, Fair, and we'll get right back into things.
Attention wrestling fans, the place to be each and every Tuesday is on the Coastal Championship Wrestling YouTube channel, where a new episode of CCW Alive Wrestling drops at 7 p.m. Witness the hard-hitting, high-flying action that is synonymous with the longest-running independent wrestling promotion in the southeastern United States. Subscribe today, and don't you dare miss it.
That's right. Every Tuesday night, dropping at 7 p.m. is another new episode of CCW Alive. You can see some of our best matches highlighted there on Alive Wrestling. We just dropped an episode last night from Battle of Nashville. 2 great matches. You can catch matches from Bash at the Brew, from our Port St. Lucie shows. You could see guys like Fer Rojas in action. Tuesday nights, if you can't make it to the show, always make sure to make it Tuesday nights, 7 p.m., the CCW Alive TV YouTube channel. But Fair, we move on from that to Saturday. It is Rumble in the Jungle 9 at Tripping Animals Brewery. And I got to ask you something about this poster. I notice who's on that poster in the top right. but I can't say I see a Raw dog on that poster. I just want to get your reaction to that, Fair.
Excuse me? I'm sorry?
I mean, God, come on. Yo, did I come here to be insulted, or did I come here to get interviewed?
I don't make the posters.
Did I come here? Why are you setting me up with questions like this?
No, I'm not setting you up at all. I mean, why aren't your people talking to CCW management people? I mean, this is a little ridiculous. I think that not one.
No. This isn't even a Fair Rojas issue. This is a big AJ issue. His ego, let me tell you, is so big. From what I've heard, they've had to redo that poster like 8 times because apparently his big head wasn't big enough to be on that poster. It had to be bigger, and it had to be bigger, and it had to be bigger. So to accommodate him, he had to make some adjustments. But I'm the bad guy.
Hey, the people
but I'm the bad guy.
The people love the Costco guys.
I don't care about the Costco guys. I don't care about the Costco guys. All these people want to love the Costco guys. Costco guy this, Costco guys that. We bring the boom. These are bad guys. These are not. This is not good people. He's not a hero. Nowhere near.
They're pretty nice to me.
It's all an act. It's a facade. Why can't you see it? Why is everyone so blind?
Well, we will get into that facade later coming up here, but we got to break down some of these matches fair. As Domino, the Southeastern champion, if he survives, Conquer Kissimmee, taking on Pretty Rich Wise. Now, Domino, he's got his plate full this weekend, dealing with Conquer Kissimmee, then going to Rumble the Jungle, having to face Pretty Rich Wise, and Pretty Rich Wise can get some sneaky wins over people. Pretty Rich Wise always playing those disturbing mind games, just absolutely disgusting mind games that Pretty Rich Wise does. And right when their opponents are counting him out, he gets a sneaky roll up and he can walk out Southeastern champion. But Domino, when he's in Doral, when he's in that Rumble in the Jungle, he's got the whole domination behind him. What do you think, Fair?
It smells awful, his fan section, let me tell you. Every time I walk past them, it smells crazy. It smells like landfill. That's what it smells like. Well, then again, they are from Hialeah, right?
Oh, come on, Fair.
It smells awful. I think Rich Wise wins in 3 seconds.
3 seconds? Wow.
Yes, I call it now.
I don't even know if that's possible. I think a roll-up's got to at least be 1 to 2 seconds. But
no, so you're a mathematician now? You're a physicist now.
Honestly, not that great at math. I'll give it to you. 3 seconds is Fair Rojas' prediction. My prediction is Domino keeps on his path and he walks out of Rumble the Jungle and still Southeastern champion. But don't count out Pretty Rich Wise. Let's go on to CCW Tag Team Championship action as the South American Alliance are defending their tag team championships against Alex Chamberlain and Eddie Valentine. Now, this is a team we have seen before in the past, and they have been a really dangerous team when both Alex Chamberlain and Eddie Valentine are on the same page. Almost nobody can stop them. But, man, after South American Alliance survived the crown, you have to be asking, who is going to dethrone the South American Alliance? Now, I think I know your answer. I think I know who you think is going to dethrone them. But do you think that Alex Chamberlain and Eddie Valentine are going to dethrone them here at Rumble in the Jungle?
They got experience. They have power. They're very technical. They're very sneaky. They're very smart gentlemen. They're 2 guys that I go to a lot, and they've helped me find the success that I have now. And let's be honest, South American Alliance, they're being held on by like duct tape right now. Before every match, they have to duct tape their joints together and wheel them out. So I wouldn't be too surprised if they end up dropping the championships. I mean, this is a game of smarts.
Yeah, that's a great point, by the way, that they are so banged up. I mean, it seems like they just keep surviving. Their wins get closer and closer every match. And now you got Eddie Valentine, Alex Chamberlain back teaming up. They are as dangerous as ever. And man, if there's 2 guys you do not want to step in the ring when you're suffering from injuries, is Alex Chamberlain and Eddie Valentine, because they love to pick a body part and just pick you apart and just be absolutely cerebral in that ring. South American Alliance, they're going to have to dig down deep like they always do and show off that heart, or is going to be a long night for them. Going up next, we got championship matches after championship matches on this Rumble in the Jungle card, as Ozzy Killmeister is taking on Chris Farrow. If Ozzy, again, this is what makes the last territory so special. If Ozzy can survive Conquer Kissimmee, then he goes into Rumble in the Jungle 9 as champion, and then has to face one of the best cruiserweights we have seen here in the last territory, the only 2-time cruiserweight champion, Chris Farrow. Now, Farrow, he's been having his ups and downs here, but he's gotten a chance to prove himself once again against Ozzy to get that CCW championship, to become the first ever 3-time CCW cruiserweight champion. But the Cruisermeister on the warpath, as you know, Fair, very well. Do you think, well, one, you don't even think Ozzy is even going to make it to this match, correct? You don't even think he's going to be champion?
I mean, no. I don't think he even makes it out of Kissimmee. I don't think he makes it out of Kissimmee. Honestly, he might have to switch things up. I think he's going to get absolutely pummeled.
Well, if that's the case, then Joe Garcia would be stepping in his place as champion, because Joe would dethrone him at Conquer Kissimmee and walk into Rumble in the Jungle as CCW Cruiserweight Champion.
Hey, I mean, whoever wins is just a placeholder for one of us three. So, I mean,
that's a good way to look at
it. Casimir, you can hold it
definitely not me.
If you'd like. I mean,
if I held it, I already know it belonged to the Raw Dogs. I'll just hand it over.
Exactly. You really want to get into these after parties, don't you?
You know it. But we digress. That is going to be one hell of a match. The CCW Cruiserweight Championship. Ozzy Killmeister and Chris Farrow. Always love those two going to battle, and this time it's going to be for that Cruiserweight Championship. Fer Rojas says doesn't matter who's holding gold, because it's just a placeholder for the Raw Dogs. Well, let's talk about it. This man would be a Bulgarian placeholder, a Bulgarian Punisher, a man built like a Bulgarian mountain, shaped in the image of a Bulgarian god. That is Meadow. Taking on you, Fer Rojas, if Meadow survives that mystery opponent. Now, you said you had some insight on that mystery opponent. You said that you think he's going to get roughed up. I mean, I don't even have to ask you for your prediction. I know. You already know you're going to be walking away Rumble in the Jungle with that CCW Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you said it. It's that simple. I mean, I got to give it to Meadow. I got to give it to him. He's a hard worker. He's 100%, 365 days a year. He did an incredible feat, and that's dethroning QT Marshall. But I think a lot of people know that I've made quite a career for myself, both inside and clearly outside of the ring, being a spoiler, coming in and sweeping the rug out of people just like him. He's had to scrape and claw his way to the top from a literal dumpster that is Bulgaria to make it all the way up here and win the world championship. And he has everyone's respect, including mine. But I'll tell you now, and I hope Meadow's listening, and I hope everybody in the locker room is listening. This is a very popular show. After Saturday, everybody will have to learn to respect me. Because just because he is 100%, 365, I'm still more dangerous, because I am somebody that came from the outside, waltzed my way in, and I can cherry pick my way to the top. And in a matter of moments, destroy everything he's ever worked for. And on Saturday, that's a promise.
What a promise delivered there by Fer Rojas, man. I think we're going to see a K9 kick. I think we're going to see a K9 kick. And I think it's going to be closer than a lot of people expect.
He's a lot stronger than me. I got to give it to him. He's a brute. He is stronger than me, way stronger than me, maybe probably way stronger than I'll ever be. But guess what? We've learned time and time again. I have found success here, not because of my muscles, which are huge, by the way, but because of what's up here. I'm a genius. I'm a genius. This is a mental game. This is mental chess. And I'm always 3 steps ahead.
Raw dogs do always have tricks up their sleeves. And you're going to have to bend the rules. You're going to have to do everything, which I know you're going to do, to try to get the win there. Have you been practicing your leapfrogging, your dodging of the spear? Have you had raw dogs trying to spear you at any time out of nowhere?
Every afternoon, I've been going to the dog park, and I line up 5 pit bulls. And one by one, I release them on me.
That's good. Now that is, I mean,
and let's just say I haven't been bit yet.
wow. And he does not plan to get bit at Rumble in the Jungle by Meadow. Meadow, though, he has all the momentum, but Fer Rojas, he wants to be that spoiler. Can't wait for it. That's going to be one hell of a heavyweight championship match. I can tell you, that could be a main event on any one of our CCW shows, but not this show because of this man. That's right, Rumble the Jungle 9. It will be 5-star era and Elliot Crow with Fer Rojas by their side, taking on the Iron Savages and Big Boom AJ. AJ, and on the outside is going to be Big Justice. Now, before we go into this match, the Raw Dogs saw that video and they had to respond because AJ's out here looking like a beast, doing running power slams. I've seen him in the train facility fair. He is big. He is putting in the work. But you guys had a response to that video, and I loved every second of it, and we got to watch it.
We're the Raw Dogs, and we love BJs. From their 12 inchers to their made fresh everyday bear claws, which are way better than your double chunk chocolate cookies that you can shove straight up your ass. As I was saying, on Saturday, October 19th, it's the Raw Dogs and 5-Star Era versus the Iron Savages and AJ and Big Justice Akosco, guys. You think just because you're a viral sensation means that you can take on real wrestlers? Everything that the Raw Dogs do goes viral. So at Rumble in the Jungle, you better bring the boom! Or 5-Star Air and the Raw Dogs are going to make your career a doom.
So fair, the Raw Dogs looking to already make the wrestling career of Big AJ a doom on that boom or doom scale. Big dooms across the board. Do you think Elliot Crow and 5-Star Era have what it takes to defeat Big AJ, defeat the Iron Savage? That is a lot of size in the other corner.
I mean, of course we do. Of course we do. Iron Savages, we took them to the limit. They won off a fluke. Let's be honest. We are half their size, and we took them to the absolute limit last time.
You guys did get taken to Titty City, though. Every single one of you. James Tapia, Elliot Crow, Fer Rojas, Titty City. I was there. But it was a great match. You guys did push them to their limits. I just don't know about fluke. Continue on, though.
I mean, this is why I get booked here, so I can be trashed. Look. We were this close to winning, and what's one thing about the Raw Dogs? We adapt and we overcome. We've been studying up. At the end of the day, they're just groupies riding on the coattails of Big Boom AJ or whatever the hell he wants to call himself this week. Of course, we're going to beat them. This is a collaboration of the century, 5-Star Era, and the Raw Dogs. I mean, come on. This is the Justice League. This is the Justice League going up against them. And honestly, you know what? When they put us to face Big AJ in his big return before going to AEW, you know what I said? I said, let me do a humanitarian effort and help put this guy out of his misery. Thank you. Do you know, Tyler, what a midlife crisis is?
Yes. And I believe I know where you're going with this. Yeah.
This is exactly what Big Boom AJ is going through right now. And it's sad. It happens to men all the time. It happens all the time. So it's sad that he has to drag his family to go so he can live this crazy fantasy that he wants to relive of being a pro wrestler. Look, this has happened many times before. People think they can come into our ring and show us what's up. And every single time they can't, they leave broken, they leave bruised, and they leave like a dog with his tail between his legs. I'm going to put him out of his misery so he doesn't have to embarrass himself in front of his family. Okay? Big AJ, Big Boom AJ. Go home and enjoy family life. You live in Boca Raton. It's a nice, easy lifestyle. I spent a lot of time up there too. It's nice and easy. Enjoy life. Enjoy life. You're in over your head. You're going up against athletes, dogs. We're going to maul you. We don't want to do that. But if you're going to come up here with your little catchphrases and think you're going to show us up, we got to do what we got to do. We're going to deliver you to AEW in a box, because we're going to dismantle you. I'm going to ship you to AEW full gear. I'm going to ship you FedEx first class. You'll be there the next day.
Wow, just be him in a box with a couple double chunk chocolate cookies and some chicken bakes straight at AEW's doorstep. Is that what we're saying here?
Oh, yes. He's not going to make it to full gear. He's not going to make it. Okay, and it pains me to do it. It pains me to be on this side that has to teach him a lesson and has to send him back to his family. But sometimes you got to learn your lesson. And we're going to show it to him the hard way. Then instead of focusing on this washed up dream that he has in his, how old is he? Like 75? I don't know how old he is.
Definitely not 75.
I don't know how old he is. But instead of trying to rehash this washed up dream of his, we're going to send him back where he belongs, to his family, helping them do their homework, taking them out on walks, and reviewing stupid cookies and food court food. Because that's where they shine, unfortunately, but not in the ring with us.
And, I would usually agree with you on the, a viral sensation or celebrity stepping into the ring, but he does have in-ring experience. I mean, he was a professional wrestler before.
Okay, yeah, but what was that video? Him power slamming Julio Caesar? Guess what? I kicked his head off 2 months ago. No problem. I didn't even sweat. So I don't even know what he's trying to show. I don't know what he's trying to show me with that. Why don't you go and you power slam somebody that doesn't weigh 120 pounds soaking wet?
Hey, great point. Great point there.
Look at my dog. This is a Jack Russell.
We got a raw dog.
He weighs more than Julio Caesar.
Oh, my goodness. Julio Caesar catching strays now. Unbelievable. Absolutely ridiculous. Fair. You got a huge weekend in front of you. But you mentioned his family. I do want to just throw in real quick. It is not just Big AJ that is going to be there, because I know you're going to be on the outside there. Hopefully you'll be on the outside with that CCW Heavyweight Championship for the Raw Dog's sake. But also his son, speaking of family, Big Justice, will be there ringside. Do you think any interaction is going to...
You think I'm scared of a 4-year-old?
You think
I'm scared of a 4-year-old?
You brought up scared.
You think I'm scared of a 4-year-old? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to charge up an iPad. I'm going to slide it to him. Done. That
usually works against 4-year-olds. I have to say that's a great strategy. The Raw Dogs, big brains.
I'm going to slide him an iPad. Gone. And good, because who wants to watch their dad get beat up? I mean, it's going to hurt me. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt because I got surprises up my sleeve. It's going to hurt to watch a father be beat up in front of his kid. It sucks. It's gonna look like the Lion King out here. It's gonna be the Lion King out here. Poor Simba.
Poor Simba, indeed. Do you think with the 5-star era, I mean, great tag team in their own rights.
I mean, they've wrestled all over the world.
They've wrestled all over the world together, by the way, years and years. They compared themselves to the Dwayne Wade and LeBron of the last territory. But not the most trustworthy of guys. Has that went through any of the Raw Dogs' heads? They they betrayed countless tag team partners in their own rights.
I mean, okay, a few months ago we did it. We tagged with them, and it ended up going our way.
Right.
But that's okay. We had a powwow. The drinks were flowing. The music was pumping. And we all sat down and we had a little pup circle and we hashed out the beef. And we're all on the same page. We have one goal: to embarrass him in front of his millions of fans, to embarrass him in front of Doral, and most importantly, to embarrass him in front of his family.
Well, you know what, Fair? All these questions I've had for you, it seems like you've had answers for all of them, and I shouldn't expect anything less from the Raw Dogs, from the leader of the pack, Fair Rojas. You guys got a huge weekend coming up. The last territory has a huge weekend coming up. I mean, are you kidding me? With Conquer Kissimmee and Rumble the Jungle, these cards are unbelievably stacked. Fans, you can get your tickets at ccwrestlingfl.com. Remember, Rumble the Jungle 9 this Saturday. Tripping Animals Doral, Big Boom, AJ, and the Iron Savages will be taking on 5-Star Era and the Raw Dogs, Elliot Crow with Fair Rojas on the outside. A huge main event. The last territory keeps on rolling. Fair, I want to say thank you so much. And I got to be honest, once you came on here, like you do every time you're on here, you made a believer out of me. And I wish you the best of luck this weekend. I mean, you guys got an answer for everything.
I mean, that's really sweet, Casimir. You're still not getting into the after party.
Please. I mean, come on.
I mean, that was you almost got me there. You almost got me
right?
there.
It was close.
You were close. You were close.
It's almost like
close.
You guys almost winning. Listen, anyways, thank you guys so much for joining us. Hey, shout out to the Raw Dogs Entourage, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
The Raw Dogs Entourage.
Hey, but in all seriousness, Fair, best of luck this weekend. If anyone can do it, it's the Raw Dogs. Raw Dogs on top. It's, like I said, always my pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much.
You're such a kiss ass, Casimir. Jesus Christ.
We lost Axel. I got called a kiss ass. We lost Axel there. But we will be back next week, Wednesday, 7:30, to break down everything happening in the last territory. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here, and we'll catch you next week.
You have been watching CCW Insider, produced by